It's noon. Oregon School Boards Association Board of Directors special meeting for Thursday, January 11th, 2024 is called to order at 12 p.m. Welcome, everybody. I would like to welcome you all for being here. And I want to take a moment of personal privilege to welcome those who just joined us for this first meeting. So I want to start with a roll call, and then I would like to ask those who just got elected or appointed to join the board to introduce themselves briefly. So the first item on the agenda is welcoming and roll call, and roll call will be taken. The president will take the roll call alphabetically. Director Albright.
Here.
Director Crapper.
Here.
Director Cronin. President-elect Cronin.
Is she frozen? Maybe
Yeah, we'll
she's
come back to her. I believe she has some internet connectivity challenges. Director Crook.
Here.
Director Denzuka.
Here.
Director Dowdy.
Here.
Director Gupta. Director Gupta. Director Gupta, I see you're here. Could you signify if you're here by audio? All right, we'll come back to you. Director Hamilton.
Here.
And Director Howitt.
Here.
Director Arvin. Director Arvin.
Oh, here with, sorry.
Director Kintz.
Here.
Director Lowell. Director Lowell.
Here.
Director McKenzie.
here.
Director Oliveros.
Here.
Director Wrights.
Here.
Director Shaw. Director Shaw, and I apologize, Nicole, if I'm mispronouncing your last name. All right, we'll come back to you. I don't see her here. And Director Smith.
Here.
Director Watson.
Here.
And we'll go with the ex officios. The president is here. Cahill. Dr. Cahill.
Here.
Dr. Hawkins is excused. Director Martinez Zapata.
Here.
Director Morgan. Director Morgan is excused. And I'll go back, Director and President-elect Cronin. Come back to you. Director Gupta, I believe you had challenges unmuting. Just to
Yes,
make
I'm here. I'm sorry. Now I can be heard. Thank you.
wonderful. And Director Shah. All right. Dr. Shah is excused. And Director Cronin.
I see her on the screen here.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm sorry, I'm having really serious issues, but I'm here.
No problem. Thank you. So a quorum is present and roll call has been taken. With that, I want to open the floor for those who just joined us. Please introduce yourself, which region or caucus you represent, and also what's your local school district. So we would like to have the board to get to know you as we get started this business. I believe our And please raise your hand. Actually, as a matter of fact, for anybody who wants to participate, we will either call on you in sequence, but if you want to raise your hand virtually or visibly on the camera, I'll make my best to see anyone who raises their hand and we'll call on you in that order. But for now, I want to welcome everybody and welcome those who just joined us. I believe Director Arvin, you were elected during this election, so welcome aboard and please spend a minute or two to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Tristan Irvin, and I'm really excited to be a part of OSBA, and I am the board chair of the Tigard Tualatin School District. So thank you so much.
Welcome aboard.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you. And I want to recognize, I believe, Director and the inaugural president of the Rural Caucus, Nicole Shaw from Condon, if I'm not mistaken, is joining us on this board. She is not with us right now, but I want to provide her an opportunity the next meeting or when she joined us to introduce herself, and really excited to have the Rural Caucus. Welcome aboard. So with that, did I miss anyone who just joined the board? I believe not. Seeing roll call has been taken and a quorum is present, the board can conduct its business, and the next item on the agenda is approving the agenda. The president will entertain a motion to that effect. If you have a motion, please raise your hand.
Mr. President, I would move to approve the agenda as presented.
It's been moved by Director Howitt. Is there a second?
I second,
Second.
Mr. President.
Okay, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing there is no discussion on this motion, I will go with an objection voting mechanism. So if there is any objection, please signify by aye, unmute, and, or sorry, say I object if you have any objection to the motion. If you are in favor, you may stay silent. So if there is anybody who is objecting to the motion, seeing there is no objection, the motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the appointment. So the appointment process is included in the packet. The Board of Directors has adopted a process, and I will read it in terms of how it's conducted. When conducting an appointment, it is recommended the president or their designee follow this process outlined below. A quorum of the board must be present to conduct an appointment. If it is unopposed, if only one candidate is being considered for the open position, the president will ask for a motion and a second to appoint, for a discussion, then for calling for a vote. Unopposed appointments may be brought forth and voted on under one motion if deemed appropriate by the executive committee during agenda planning. Contested. When two or more applicants are being considered for the same appointment, the president announces the candidates the board will consider and then select an applicant and opens the floor for comments on that candidate. This is repeated until the board has had the opportunity to comment on all candidates under consideration. I'll be calling on a roll call for each candidate for board members to provide a comment. And if you don't have any comments on a specific candidate, feel free to say pass. Describes the process for voting. Each board member votes for one applicant. This may be done by voice, show of hands, or written ballot. Today, we will be conducting that process by voice. This method of voting should be determined by the executive committee at agenda planning. Ballots require the signature of a board member and are read aloud at the meeting. Example, director so-and-so or votes for applicant so-and-so. Instead of that, we will be doing it as voice. So when I call on you, you say the name of the candidate that you would like to vote for by voice and proxy of a ballot. To receive the appointment, one candidate must receive a majority of the votes of the members present at the meeting. Voting continues until one candidate receives the appropriate number of votes. Finally, the announcement of the outcome of the vote, if appropriate. First appointment process is going to be for the Board of Directors of OSBA. We will do them one by one. First item is for position 7 for Clackamas. We do have one candidate, Glenn Wetcher from North Clackamas, District 12. The president now will entertain any motion. Immediate past president, for what reason would you like to be recognized?
Mr. President, I would like to entertain a motion to appoint Glenn Watcher to position 7, the OSBA Board of Directors.
And I would second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing there is no discussion, it's been moved by the board to appoint applicant Glenn Witcher from North Clackamas to the Board of Directors, position 7, Clackamas Region. Is there any objection on the motion? So now we will go for the vote. If you have an objection for the motion, please say I object. Seeing there is no objection, the motion passes unanimously. Linnell, the next one is Washington number 15. Am I correct?
I believe we have to do Lynn Benton Lincoln, position 10.
Lynn Benton Lincoln, position 10.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is position number 10, Lynn Benton Lincoln Region. We do have 3 candidates, so we will, this is a position that's contested. We have 3 candidates, Jason Curtis from Central Lynn 552, Clyde Rood from Lebanon Community School District, and Lahui White Bear from Corvallis 509J. The way we will conduct this appointment is according to the process that I just mentioned. So I will be asking board members to provide any comments specific to a candidate. And after we exhaust all board members who may wish to speak on that specific candidate, we'll move to the next candidate before we move into the vote. So the first candidate under consideration is Jason Curtis, Central Lynn 552. The president will entertain discussion by board members on that candidate. So for Jason Curtis, I will open the discussion for board members, and I'll start with Director Albright. All right, I'll assume you pass, and if you would like to pass, please unmute and pass. Director Crapper.
Pass.
Director Cronin. Director Crook.
The only comment that I have is that getting people who are from a rural part of our state is important to have more members who are in a rural area. That's why I'm supporting Clyde.
Thank you. Do you have any comments, Jackie, for the applicant Jason Curtis at this time?
No, none. I don't. That's the only comment I have.
Thank you. Director Denzuka.
Pass.
Director Dowdy. Director Gupta.
Pass.
And Director Hamilton.
Pass.
Director Howitt.
Pass.
Director Arvin.
Pass.
Director Kintz.
Pass.
Director Lowell.
Pass.
Director McKenzie.
Pass.
Director Oliveros.
Pass.
Director Wright? Director Wright? Director Schott? And actually, I apologize, Director Schott,
I
welcome.
pass.
That's
Yeah.
you do this.
I'm sorry, I had to join late and I'll pass. I have no comment.
No worries. And please let me know if you would like me to explain the process. We are at this time discussing if there's any comments about the candidate Jason Curtis for Lynn Benton Lincoln appointments, and we will go over each candidate for comments before we go for a vote. And I will pause because I see Director Hamilton raise her hand. Director Hamilton, do you have any privileged motion or would you like to?
Sorry, let's go on to the next candidate. Sorry, I forgot to let it down. Thank you, Sammy.
No problem. Director Smith?
Pass.
Director Watson?
Pass.
And I pass. Director Cahill? And Director Zabata?
Pass as well.
All right, we discussed now the candidates Jason Curtis. Now we will go to to the applicant Clyde Rood from Lebanon. We will start again in the same order. Director Albright.
It looks
Director-
like he's frozen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that comment. And if someone can text him the call-in number, I understand and recognize we have snowstorms in many places around the state. So if he's back, please let me know. I will try to recognize him again. Director Crapper.
I just want to agree with what Jackie said. I like small town and former military experience. And I believe he also attends the members of Keller Caucus as well. So I think those are all good qualifications.
Thank you. Director Cronin.
Yes, I did receive a comment from a board member in Mr. Rood's region. I don't know Mr. Rood at all, but I did receive a comment of concern about his candidacy from another board member. The concern was about his ability to collaborate and work well within a group. And I told the board member that I would pass that along at this time.
Thank you. Dr. Crook. Director Crook, I just want to put on the record that you gave a comment about Director Clyde Rood earlier, and I understand from your signal that you don't have any further comments, correct? Thank you very much.
Correct.
Thank you. Director Denzuka?
Pass.
Director Dowdy? Director Gupta?
Pass.
Director Hamilton?
I support this rural area. I met Clyde at a conference, summer conference. I've seen him at the Caucus of Color meetings, and I reviewed his application and I support him. He also, from my checking out things, he's also have Native American in his background. So we do want to diversify the board in that area, although we do have some diversity on the board already in that area, but he's from a rural area, Lebanon. And so I want to support that.
Thank you. Director Howard?
Pass.
Director Arvin?
Pass.
Director Kins?
Pass.
Director Lowell?
Pass.
Dr. McKenzie?
A pass.
Dr. Oliveros? Dr. Oliveros?
Pass.
Thank you.
Pass.
Dr. Wright?
Pass.
Dr. Schott?
Pass.
Dr. Smith?
Pass.
Dr. Watson?
Pass.
And I pass. Dr. Cahill? Director Cahill.
Pass.
Thank you.
Sammy, it looks like Craig Albright might be back online again.
Wonderful. Director Albright, I'll be back to you after Director Zabata. Director Zabata.
Pass.
And back to Director Albright. I want to recognize you may have had issues with the connection for the past period. So I want to give you an opportunity. Right now, we are speaking to candidate Clyde Rood, but if you also missed an opportunity to speak to, sorry, to the appointment of Clyde Rood. But if you have also additional comments for Jason Curtis, I want to give you the floor to provide any comments about either candidate, just in recognition to the connection issues that you had.
This froze up again.
Hmm. Director Albright. All right, we'll keep moving and thank you folks for giving me an indication when he's back. So if he's back, please let me know. Now we will move to the third candidate. So we spoke about candidate Jason Curtis, candidate Clyde Rood, and the third candidate is Luhui White Bear. And Luhui also goes by Lou from Corvallis 509J. Now we will start with Director Albright. Director Crapper.
Pass.
Director Crun.
I don't know any of these three candidates personally. I just know of Lou White Bear that she has been very involved and active in OSBA matters, and so I have positive feelings about her.
Director Crook.
Pass.
Director Danzuka.
I've known Lou for a while. She's very active on the legislative side. I think that's a real good asset for the board, but she's also been active on the caucus and throughout other areas in the region, not just Corvallis. She's done a lot of work throughout the state, so I support her as a candidate. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Dowdy.
Hi, sorry. Thank you. I'd just love to support for this candidate. I think out of the three candidates, we're really fortunate to have three interested parties and three people qualified and capable of doing this work. But it seems to me that the potential Director Whitebear is the candidate that is going to most wholeheartedly dive into some of the equity work and the upcoming legislative support that would be needed for a short session. And so I am most excited about supporting this candidate.
Thank you. Director Gupta.
Thank you. I just want to echo what Director Dowdy said, that, you know, we have three such wonderful qualified candidates. It's, you know, a pleasure to have such a difficult decision, but at the same time, also a difficult decision. I just want to acknowledge that I've been so impressed with Clyde Rood's attendance at the consistent attendance at the Color Caucus meetings. And I unfortunately haven't had a chance to get to speak to him, but I hope I will at a future meeting. But, you know, I have to support Luhui White Bear. I know that she is just a wealth of knowledge and experience, and as was mentioned before, she just has such an equity mindset, and so that's why I'm supporting her.
Thank you. Director Hamilton.
Yes, Lou is, I reached out to her when before I reached out to Sammy to run for president at the caucus. She came behind him, and she's been very active in the caucus. with getting the word out there, spreading the words, T-shirts and stuff, and very engaged. And I know she can work in this role, and it looks like it may boil down to her and Clyde. But either one of them can take the role and run with it. But I speak for a rural area first, but either one, they're great candidates. I wish would have gotten to meet Jason Curtis, who I haven't. But they both, Clyde and Lou, are active in the caucus. Well, Clyde has been attending. So candidates boil down to either one of those two.
Thank you. Director Howard?
Thank you. For all the reasons that have been mentioned, I would support Lou White Bear.
Thank you. Director Urban?
I would echo what Director Howitt said, and for the reasons mentioned, support her as well.
Director Kintz?
Pass.
Director Lull?
Pass.
Director McKenzie?
Yes, for all the previous comments mentioned on behalf of Lou White Bear, I agree, and I echo their support. One thing I've been thinking about my experience and just kind of watching how she evaluates and advocates as a member of the Color Caucus and also as a member of the her local board. What I've witnessed, what I've seen in conversations, it's been very thoughtful, very pragmatic, and very she's very thoughtful about her approach and advocacy for issues that are critically important to students around the state of Oregon. She's spoken eloquently and powerfully about advocating about things that have passed in our legislature. I think that she could bring a really unique perspective in her experience and the work she does in her own professional capacity, her local board, but she is I just learn from her every time I hear her speak. She challenges us to do what's right. And I think bringing her voice to this board would be a really amazing asset. So I'm in full support of Lou.
Thank you. Director Oliveros?
Pass.
Thank you. Director Wright?
Pass.
Director Shaw?
I pass.
Thank you. Director Smith?
Pass.
Director Watson?
Pass.
And I pass. Dr. Kale? And Director Martinez Zapata.
Thank you, President Sammy Alavdruba. I can never pronounce your last name, Sammy, but I'm trying. I just want to echo what most others have already said. It's commendable that this number of folks have been interested in the position. And I don't know any of the candidates personally, but I also am very impressed with the credentials that Lou has submitted. So I think she would be a wonderful candidate for this position, or director.
Thank you for the comments, and I'll take a point of personal privilege to say I also thank the directors for their patience with my pronunciation. Please let me know if I did not pronounce your last name correctly. And if you're experiencing that, I know what you're feeling, but you pronounced it very well. So with that, I want to give Director Albright an opportunity to speak to Director White Bear, and if he would like to have an opportunity to speak to other candidates as well. Dr. Albright, can you hear me, or are you available here?
Yes, I'm on a wired connection now, so I should be stable. So thanks everyone for your patience.
Welcome back.
I will just keep my comments brief. I do have a slight concern about overrepresentation from one district. So with that, I will be supporting Clyde.
Thank you for your comments. Do you have any other comments of any other candidates?
No, nothing more to add. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do have two hands up, Katrina and then Kent. Katrina, for what reason would you like to be recognized?
I was hoping to make a motion to appoint Lou White Bear to this seat. Thank
you. The motion will not be in order until we conduct an election where each board member will indicate the candidate that they would like to vote for. And after the result of that election is announced, then we will be entertaining entertaining a motion. So if there's no objection from the rest of the board, and please unmute if you object to my guidance, is that we will move forward with the process where we would be going through the election. Is there any objections to that? So before we go into a motion, we'll ask each board member to indicate which candidate they want to vote for. There's no objection, so we'll move forward with that. Kins, for what reason would you like to be recognized?
My question is, we have quite a few of these board openings to look at today. And my question is, are these all from positions that were supposed to be elected before the end of the year? Or are these positions that have been vacated in areas that are not up for election this past year? Because it seems like there's an awful lot of candidates here that could have run for offices, and I'm puzzled.
Thank you, Kent, for the comment. And I can answer this question in general terms, and then I'll provide staff an opportunity to provide more details. The appointments for those vacancies and the vacancies has been announced because either that nobody has filed for the election, or they may wanted to file, but they did not qualify on time for any technical reasons. So we did not have candidates on the ballot for that region, and that automatically makes it a vacancy for application, or that a vacancy has occurred. That's in general terms, but if you find that satisfactory, and or if you have specific questions about specific region, maybe we can have specific answers on what happened. Sorry, staff, to put you on the spot, but if staff would like to provide more detailed answer to the question, and if you need time, happy to defer for more time.
Thank you. I just talked with Linnell, and we have an elections worksheet that she could share out of what districts didn't have someone file during the election period. But I do know that we had more that didn't either get the paperwork in on time or didn't file than in past years, from what I can tell.
Thank you, Emily. So seeing there's no director seeking recognition, we will move, if there's no objection, for a vote. As a reminder of the process, I will be asking each director to indicate which candidate they would like to vote for. After the election is concluded, we will announce the results. And after the results are shared, we will entertain a motion. A motion needs to pass with a majority of those present. So with that, I see, Jackie, you had your hand raised, and then down. Would you see?
I have a rise to a point of information. I'm confused about the vote, and to vote, I thought we needed a motion to vote, and then okay, and we don't have that. And then after we vote, we're going to have a motion to do what? I think we need to have a motion for the candidates that we're interested in, and then they can say which candidate, and then they're appointed. So I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, thank you for the inquiry, or for that point of information. The process that the board has and the executive committee has adopted, and it was revised on December 13th, 2019, stipulates that's contested. The process for contested goes as follows. The first stage, which we concluded, we announce the candidates and we speak on each candidate one at a time. The second step of the process is we go into voting for one applicant per director. After the voting concluded, to receive an appointment, one candidate must receive a majority of votes of members present at the meeting. Voting continues until one candidate receives the appropriate number of votes. We announce the outcome of the vote if appropriate, and we formalize the appointment with the motion. So I want to really pause there. If there's an objection for the process that the board has adopted previously, we can entertain that, or we can move forward with the same process that we have. So if there's no objection, I'll move forward with each candidate, each board member indicate which candidates would you like to vote for. And then after we go that, we will announce the results. If a simple majority, we'll move to a motion. If there's no simple majority, we'll continue doing that process according to the process that we adopted. Director Hamilton, for what reason you seek recognition?
It's just a little different than what it was. We do, I think in order to vote, we have to have a motion. So I was thinking that we would do the motion for Clyde, then do the, and vote, and then do a motion for Jason and vote, and then do a motion for Lulu and vote. But I guess it sounds like you're gonna ask people to vote first and then entertain a motion. Is that correct?
To answer your question, it's two sides question. My understanding of the process and the reading of the process, it is as I described it. So it is correct that we will be going for a vote until we have a simple majority or more obtained for a single candidate. After that, we'll go for a motion. After that motion, we'll go through a final discussion and then for a vote on that motion to finally appoint a candidate according to the process. Thank you, Director Hamilton, for the question. And with that, now we are starting the voting mechanism by voice. Please indicate either the first name or the last name or the full name of the candidate that you're voting for. And I will start with Director Albright.
Yes, I will be voting for Clyde J. Rood.
Director Crapper.
I'll be voting for Clyde.
Director Cronin.
Lou White Bear.
Director Crook.
Clyde.
And sorry, if just for clarity, I'll repeat the votes. Director Albright for Rood, Director Crapper for Rood, Director Cronin for White Bear, Director Crook for Rood, Director Danzuka.
White Bear.
Director Danzuka for White Bear, Dowdy.
White Bear.
Dowdy for White Bear, Gupta.
White Bear.
Gupta for White Bear, Hamilton.
Clyde.
Hamilton for Clyde, for Rood. Howitt.
White Bear.
Howitt for White Bear, Urban.
White Bear.
Urban for White Bear, Kintz.
Clyde.
Kintz for Clyde, for Rood. Lowell. Director Lowell.
Clyde, please.
Director Lowell, Lowell for Clyde Rood. McKenzie.
White Bear.
McKenzie for White Bear. Oliveros.
White Bear.
Oliveros for White Bear. Whites.
Clyde Rood, please.
Could you repeat that?
Clyde Rood.
Rights for Clyde Rood. Director Shaw. Director Nicole Shaw. All right, we'll come back to Dr. Shaw. Dr. Smith.
Clyde Rood.
Dr. Smith for Rood. Dr. Watson.
Clyde Rood, please.
For Clyde Rood. Watson for Clyde Rood. And we do have one vote remaining for Director Nicole Shaw. Director Nicole Shaw, who do you vote for?
She lost her internet connection, Sammy.
Okay, thank you.
Can she call in? Emily, are you in touch with her?
Sorry,
ca-
I'm helping Linnell with the tallying here real quick.
Okay. So we'll keep the vote open for a few moments, and I'll try to see if we can get Director Schatz on. So I have Director Schott on the phone. Director Schott, can you hear me? Wonderful. So now we are voting. Could you indicate which candidates do you vote for?
Yes, one from Brownsville. I can't remember his name.
We have candidate Jason Curtis, Clyde Rood, and Jason Curtis. Thank you very much. So shot for Curtis. All right. The vote now has concluded. We will wait for staff to announce the results of the election.
We have Jason Curtis 1, Clyde Rood 9, and White Bear 8.
Thank you very much. So seeing there is no candidates receiving the majority, the president will entertain another round of is there a simple majority? Sorry, I want to ask staff, do we have a simple majority obtained by any of the candidates? I don't think so.
No, we need 10.
Okay. So seeing there is no simple majority obtained, the president will entertain another round of vote for the Lynn Benton Lincoln position. Before we go there, Director Hamilton, for what reason you seek recognition?
I know you're running this meeting but for the sake of time, can we just ask folks who want to entertain voting, changing their vote, or however to get the 10? I thought it was the majority.
So we don't have a simple majority that will elevate into a motion passing, and the process requires repeating the motion. However, this is the board. The meeting is for the board. The board may dictate or change the process if it chooses. My personal recommendation is to continue the process that we adopted for consistency. So I know it's difficult, and I want to just maybe recenter us on recognizing and acknowledging really my gratitude for all the applicants. As a board member, actually local board member, I don't represent the region, but who is from this region, I'm really grateful for people stepping up and applying for this process. And I appreciate the folks that are really taking this responsibility very seriously, appointing someone representing this region and bringing their values and their expertise to serve OSBA. So with that, I want to maybe proceed, if there's no objection, with another round of voting. We will.
No.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So with that, now we will do another round of voting. At this time, please indicate the name of the candidates, just like how we did. And I will go in the reverse order this time. Director Watson.
Clyde Rood, please.
Watson for Rood. Dr. Smith.
Clyde Rood.
Smith for Rood. Director Schott.
Clyde Rood.
Schott for Rood. Dr. Wright.
Clyde Rood.
Price for Rood. Dr. Oliveros.
Clyde Rood.
Oliveros for Rood. Dr. McKenzie.
White Bear.
McKenzie for White Bear. Dr. Lull.
Clyde, please.
Lull for Rood. Dr. Kintz.
Clyde Rood.
Kintz for Rood. Dr. Arvin.
White Bear.
Arvin for White Bear. Dr. Howitt.
Clyde Rood.
Howitt for Rood. Dr. Hamilton.
Clyde Rood.
Hamilton for Rood. Director Gupta,
White Bear,
Gupta for White Bear, Director Dowdy,
White Bear,
Dowdy for White Bear, Director Denzuka,
White Bear,
Denzuka for White Bear, Director Crook,
Clyde Rude,
Crook for Rude, Director Cronin,
White Bear,
Cronin for White Bear, Director Crapper,
Clyde,
Crapper for Rude, Director Albright,
Clyde Root.
Albright for Rude. Is there
Uh,
anybody who did not vote yet?
I don't believe Nicole Schott has had a chance.
yes,
to
she
vote.
did.
Oh, she,
Director Schott, what's your vote in this round for the candidate for LBL?
You captured mine and it was for Clyde Root.
Schott for Rude. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who did not, is there anybody who did not vote?
I'm sorry, just question, did you vote, Sammy?
I am an ex officio, so I did not, I don't
Oh,
have,
okay, I wasn't sure about that, thank you.
I
But
don't,
Sam,
on the
Sammy,
board, I can't
why
vote.
is, why is the other ex officio voting?
Could you raise the point of order if there's
I
any?
am raising it right now. It's up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. Which board member do you believe who is an ex officio who have voted?
I saw Guadalupe. I thought she was ex officio.
We will pause for a minute because I do not believe that I have requested Director ex officio Martinez Zapata's vote, but if there is,
Last one.
could clarify, have I requested Martinez Zapata's vote? Could you indicate if that was requested or not?
It was not. I did not vote.
Thank you for the answer. Appreciate that. So let the record show, no ex officio board members have been requested to vote.
Thank you. I like that.
Director Howitt, for what reason are you seeking recognition?
Just a question then, is Neelam Gupta an ex officio as the caucus member?
No,
No, they're not.
the bylaws, she is.
That would change. Okay, so that's why I just want to make sure where the changes had happened. Okay,
No,
thank you.
actually, there's no change. I'm sorry. Let me clarify, but feel free to ask further questions. The caucus presidents, according to OSBA bylaws, they are voting representatives. They have the full rights and responsibilities of board of directors, including being voting directors. So that has been adopted since the inception of the Caucus of Color and admitting it into the process. Is there any further questions or points of order you raised for?
Point of order, Sammy, just to support that too, that in case you're wondering, that's bylaw 3.5.3.
Thank you. In support to what I just mentioned, you're correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, seeing there's no further comments, I would like to ask staff to share the result of the second round of the vote.
Yes, thank you. Clyde Rude received 12 votes and White Bear received 6.
Thank you. And with that now, we have a second round of votes. The chair would entertain a motion to nominate any candidate of the candidates mentioned for appointment to the Lynn Benton Lincoln, and the motion will be discussed and then voted on. Director Cronin, for what do you have a motion?
yes, President Olive Draba, I move that the board appoint Clyde Rude to the position 10 for Lynn Benton Lincoln County.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded to appoint candidate Clyde Rude to the Board of Directors of Position 10, Lynn Benton Lincoln Region. Seeing the motion is in order and the president will entertain final discussion. Is there any discussion on this? I will ask board members to raise their hand, visual or virtual, if they have any discussion on the motion. Director Hamilton.
Yes, I'd like to, I know there's some probably concerns that, I'd like to acknowledge Chris Cronin's statement from the person who made the comments to her from his board. And I haven't had any interactions with Mr. Rude in that manner. He seemed to collaborate well. And matter of fact, he doesn't seem to engage that much when I saw him both times at the caucus. And I know Sammy and known and people have interacted with him. So I want to say he's been respectful, and I hope we can continue to have some respectful dialogue. And I have no doubt that that can happen with diversifying the board and bringing more people from the rural area in as well.
Thank you. Any further comments? Seeing there is no further comments, the board will enter into a vote on the motion. It's been moved and seconded that the board appoint Clyde Rood to the candidate to the Board of Directors, position 10, Lynn Benton, Lincoln Region. For those in favor of the motion, say aye. For those against the motion, say nay when called on you. Director Crapper. Sorry, Director Albright first. Director Albright.
Aye.
Director Crapper.
Aye.
Director Cronin.
Yes.
Director Crook.
Aye.
Director Danzuka.
Aye.
Director Dowdy.
I abstain.
Abstains. Director Gupta.
Aye.
Director Hamilton.
Aye.
Director Hallett.
Aye.
Director Arvin.
Aye.
Director Kins.
Aye.
Director Lull.
Aye.
Director McKenzie.
Aye.
Director Oliveros.
Aye.
Director Wright.
Aye.
Director Shaw. Director Smith.
Aye.
Director Watson.
Aye.
Staff, is the tally 17 in favor, no opposed, and 1 abstention?
I didn't hear Director Schatz.
Director
So I
Shaw,
had
aye, is that correct?
aye.
Thank you.
Yes, 17 and 1 abstain.
Right. With 17, the ayes have it. The board has appointed Clyde Rood to the Board of Directors, position 10, Lynn Benton, Lincoln Region. Passes. With that, I would like to move forward for the Clackamas region, position 7. Is there a motion to appoint the candidate Mitzi Bauer, North Clackamas 12, to the Legislative Policy Committee?
I'll motion.
Is there a second?
Emily Smith, second.
It's been moved to appoint the Mitzi Bauer from North Clackamas to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 7, Clackamas Region. Is there any discussion on the motion? Director Gregory Kins?
Yes, my question is kind of a point of order here. Did we just appointed someone new to the board? Is he now been invited to vote?
Thank you. That's a very good question. It is the tradition of this board that the tenure of each appointee starts at the conclusion of the meeting. But I will defer to staff if they do have any input on that. And if they don't, I will defer to that. And my point of my understanding, Greg, is there is still an opportunity within the meeting, or before the end of the day and the meeting is called, that a motion to reconsider is not laid on the table. So if a motion to reconsider from anyone who voted aye is raised, the motion that we just voted on could change and its effect could change. So that's why the tradition that the appointment starts effectively at the conclusion of the meeting. Because someone could raise and change the effect of this motion. So it's not finally formal until we gavel the meeting at the end of the day. So that's my understanding of Robert's Rules of Order. Rarely happens, but we did it once actually last year. So to that effect, I will rule, unless there's an objection or any feedback from staff or legal counsel, that the board director will be effectively appointed at the conclusion of this meeting.
Thank you for the clarification. I just wanted to make sure that it was considered.
Absolutely, thank you. And I want to congratulate the board member and look forward to working with him, but just to be consistent with that process and with that possibility, we'll move forward with the board members who are in attendance. And right now, we do have a motion and there's no discussion on it. So is there any objection? Please say I object to the motion if you have an objection. To appoint board member, to appoint the board appoints Mitzi Bauer, North Clackamas, to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 7, Clackamas Region. Seeing there's no objection, the motion passes. Next appointment is for Kristen Aird, Lake Oswego, 7J, the only applicants for position 8, Clackamas Region. The chair would entertain a motion for the board to appoint to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 8, Clackamas Region, the appointment of Kristen Aird, Lake Oswego, 7J. Is there a motion to that effect?
Mr. President, I would move to appoint Kristen Aird to position 8, Clackamas Region Legislative Policy Committee.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Yes.
Been moved by Dr. Howa, second by Director McKenzie. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing there is no discussion, is there any objection? We'll move to a vote. If you object to the motion, please say I object. Director Crook. For what reason do you seek recognition? You're muted.
We have Christy for position 15 of Board of Directors from Washington Region. And we have position 20 Board of Director. Did you do all three of those?
No, those are still down on the agenda. Right now, we are at LPC position 8, Clackamas. After that will be LPC.
Oh, good. So you're not going just the Board of Directors, and it's very confusing to do it that way, Sammy, but okay, that's all right.
I want to lean in on staff. Are we on agenda or did I skip anything accidentally?
My assumption, and I assume that we would take care of the Board of Directors and then we would take care of the LPC, because there's so many candidates and there's so much. We needed to divide them into two different actions, getting our board first and then getting the LPC. But I mean, it's just.
Thank you, Director.
It took quite a while to try to get things organized in such a way so that we could efficiently do this.
So Director Crook, since we have a motion and we need to vote on it, as soon as we move to finish this vote, I will go back to your point of order and I'll ask staff if there is anything on the agenda that we should visit first before we move to LPC 15 and LPC 20, if there's any appointments. So really appreciate it. We'll move on with this vote to conclude it, since it's privileged over anything else. And after that, I will go back to anything that I may have missed. So I appreciate you raising this point of order. And right now, is there any objection to appoint Kristen Aird to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 8, Clackamas Region? Please say I object if you do. Seeing there's no objection, the motion passes. Now I'll go back to the point of order that was raised. Staff, is there any Board of Directors appointments that we may have missed?
Yes, we have number 3 under item A on the agenda is position 15 Washington, and then number 4 is position 20
Thank you.
Washington region as well.
Thank you, and I really apologize for the board for missing that. And really thank you, Director Crook, for Jackie, for raising this. So we'll go back on the agenda, back to the business, and the next item on the agenda, if I'm not mistaken, Emily, the immediate one now needs to be the Board of Directors, position 15 Washington, correct? Thank you.
That is correct.
So this is for position 15, Board of Directors, Washington Region. We have only one candidate, Christy Cotty, from Forest Grove. Dr. Howitt?
Mr. President, I would move to appoint Christy Kotke to position 15 Washington Region.
I second.
Been moved by Dr. Howitt, second by Dr. McKenzie. Is there any discussion on the motion? There's no discussion. The board moved to appoint Dr. Christy Cotty to the Board of Directors, position 15 Washington Region. Is there anyone objecting to the motion? If you object, please say I object. Seeing there's no objection, the motion passes unanimously.
Mr. President, Mr. President, I would move to appoint Nancy Thomas to position 20 Washington Region.
I second. Linda Hamilton.
Seeing this is an uncontested race on this agenda, is there any discussion on the motion is in order? Is there any discussion on this motion? Since there is no discussion, please, for those who object to the motion, say I object. The board now will vote on appointing Nancy Thomas, Hills Row 1J, to the Board of Directors, position 20, Washington Region. Is there any objection? Seeing there's no objection, passes unanimously. Thank you. Staff, what is the next item on the agenda?
Sammy, if I may, I believe it's position 15 LPC, and it's a contested with 2 candidates.
Thank you. So we do have 2 candidates. We're going to go through the same process. We have for position 15, Yvette Pantoja and Melissa Potter, 2 candidates. We will go through any comments on any candidate, one candidate at a time. So the first, Yvette Pantoja. Dr. Albright, do you have any comments about the candidate?
No comments, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Crapper?
He left, the comment said some people's left the meeting.
Thank you. Dr. Cronin?
No comment.
Dr. Crook?
How do we know that Melissa is for position 15?
Thank you for.
She has nothing noted. We have 2 candidates that have not noted what, well, one noted the wrong one. So we have 3 candidates, one that's for 15, and then Melissa Potter and Yvette do not. Has there been other information given to know which position that they're want to be appointed to?
So Director Crook is raising a point of inquiry about how we know the applicants. Director Cronin, is it related to this point of inquiry?
Yes, it is. I believe our agenda that was provided indicates the correct region. I believe staff must have made that correction. And so my agenda indicates which people are.
Yes, it's in the packet.
It's in the packet, yeah.
Thank you for that comment. So Dr. Cronin, do you have any comments about the applicant's Pantoja?
I do not.
Thank you. And Dr. Crook?
I'm looking at, I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm looking at my agenda. And it doesn't say who's running for position 15 and 20. and it goes, you know, we're on. So I'm still, but if we're gonna say, or you just say, we have the two candidates, which are, so they're Melissa Potter and Jill from Tiger Tualatin, and Melissa Potter from Beaverton. Is that correct?
To answer your question, we do have in the packet an indication that position 15 LPC Washington is includes 2 applicants. And we are now discussing those 2 applicants, Pantoja and Potter. I see that Director Zapata and Director Howitt seek recognition, and then Executive Director Nishik would like to make a comment. So unless you have objections, Director Zapata and Howitt, would you like me to defer to the Executive Director first, and then I'll go back to you?
No objections.
Thank you. Emily?
Yes, thank you. Their positions were confirmed via email of which position they were running for, and it should also be in your packet.
Thank you very much. And for that effect, I see the points or the hands raised from other board members, Howitt and Zapata, are no longer there. So I'll assume the answer is to your satisfaction. So thank you for the answer. Thank you for the point of inquiry, Director Crook. We'll go back to, do you have any comments about applicant Pantoja? We're continuing on comments on the on the applicant Pantoja. Danzuka?
No comment.
Dowdy?
No comment.
Gupta?
No comment.
Hamilton?
No comment.
Howitt?
No comment.
Arvin?
No comment.
Kent?
No comment.
Lowell?
No comment.
McKenzie?
No comment.
Oliveros?
No comment.
Right?
No comment.
Shaw? Smith?
No comment.
Watson?
No comment.
And I pass. Cahill?
No comment.
Hawkins? Martinez Zapata?
No comment.
Morgan? Now we'll go into any comments about the applicants, Melissa Potter. Albright?
No comment.
Crapper?
Crapper's
Cronin?
left the meeting. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you. Cronin?
So thank you, Chair. I like the other candidate, I do not know either of these candidates personally. I read through the packet. My inclination, they're both relatively inexperienced board members, but Melissa Potter seems to have a wealth of background that would, in her professional and volunteer life, that she will bring depth to the position. So, and she's demonstrated interest over years of being interested in what happens at the legislative level. So I think both are good candidates, and I'm really excited to see Yvette. And I know I'm sort of over speaking because I had a chance. I hope she continues, but at this point in time, I think Melissa Potter is the stronger candidate.
Thank you. Crook?
I agree with Chris about the wealth of experience that Melissa has.
Thank you. Danzuka?
I agree with the experience, but I just wanted to add, she also has some background in diversity and inclusion.
Thank you. Dowdy?
Pass.
Gupta?
Again, I think we're, have two great candidates. And I was impressed by Yvette's lived experience.
Thank you. Hamilton?
Melissa Potter definitely has a wealth of knowledge all around, and I think she'd be an asset to the board, and definitely knowledge for lobby, legislation, policies and whatnot. I mean, she's a wealth of knowledge all around, and I think she's probably will run this country someday with all that knowledge. So I strongly support what others have said in support of Melissa Potter.
Thank you. Howard?
As been said previously, I do support Melissa Potter for her information and experience that she has.
Thank you. Urban?
Comment.
Lowell?
No comment.
Mackenzie?
Yeah, after spending some time reviewing the packet, I believe that both candidates bring important skills and experience. I do, however, think, as others have mentioned, that that I'm leaning towards Potter with her incredible experience and background.
Thank you. Oliveros?
No comment.
Right?
No comment.
Shaw?
No comment.
No comment. Smith?
Pass.
Watson?
No comment.
I pass. Cahill?
No comment.
Hawkins? Martinez Zapata?
No comment.
And Morgan. So seeing we have discussed both candidates, the next would be a vote where each board member will indicate the candidate by voice, and we will tally the votes, and then we'll continue as the process states with the motion. However, Director Gregory Kintz, Greg, for what's the purpose you seek recognition?
My name was not called.
I apologize. I thank you. Please feel free to provide your comments at this time.
I'm supporting candidate Potter.
Thank you. Is there any board member who did not get to speak about any candidate? Is there any board member who did not get to speak about either candidate? Seeing none, we'll move into a vote. Please say the first or last name or the full name of the candidates that you vote for, and we'll go for the first round of voting. Craig Albright?
Yvette?
Albright for Yvette. Crapper is excused. Cronin?
Potter.
Cronin for Potter. Crook?
Potter.
Crook for Potter. Denzuka?
Potter.
Denzuka for Potter. Dowdy?
Potter.
Dowdy for Potter. Gupta?
Potter.
Gupta for Potter. Hamilton?
Melissa Potter.
Hamilton for Potter. Howitt?
Melissa Potter.
Howitt for Potter. Irvin?
Potter.
Irvin for Potter. Kentz?
Potter.
Kentz for Potter. Lowell?
Potter, please.
Lowell for Potter. Mackenzie?
Potter.
Mackenzie for Potter. Oliveros?
Potter.
Oliveros for Potter. Rice?
Potter, please.
Rice for Potter. Shaw? I did lose her on the phone. So I'll pass for now and we'll go back. Maybe if staff can call her, that would be great, or check in if she would like to vote on this and we can get her on audio. Smith?
Potter.
Smith for Potter. Watson?
Potter.
Watson for Potter. I'll pause for a minute. Maybe since legal counsel is here and staff are here, is there any objection from staff or legal counsel and the board, of course, if they advise of doing so, that we close the vote at this time? So I'm not hearing any objections. We will close the vote if there's no objections. And I'll ask staff to count the votes that we have. And I believe we do have an abstention or excusal for Director Crapper and excusal for Director Shaw. Is there anybody who did not vote yet? Okay. If that's the case, we're closing the votes and we'll wait for a tally.
I have 15 for Potter and 2 no votes and 1 for Yvette. Or sorry, not no votes, but were absent.
Thank you. Seeing there is a majority of the votes for a candidate, the president will entertain a motion, a sample motion. I move the board appoint Melissa Potter to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 15, Washington Region. Is there any board member would like to seek recognition for a motion or make a motion? Director Cronin.
I move that the board appoint Melissa Potter to the position of position 15, Washington Region.
I will second.
Thank you. I think Director Howitt got the second faster. So moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? See, there's no further discussion. It's been moved by Director Cronin, seconded by Director Howitt to move the board appoint Melissa Potter to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 15, Washington Region. Now we'll go for a vote by objection, by unanimous consent. Is there any objection to this motion? Please say I object. Is there any objection? Is there any objection? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. I believe the last item on our agenda is LPC position 20 Washington. That we do have one candidate, Jill Zerschmeid from Tigard Tualatin. Is there any motion for appointment for position 20 Washington Region?
I move.
Ivan?
Yeah, I move to appoint Jill Zerschmeid to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 20, Washington Region.
Thank you. And how it's second?
Okay.
Is there any discussion? Seeing there's no discussion, we are going to go for a motion by unanimous consent to approve the board appoint Jill Zerschmeid to the Legislative Policy Committee, position 20, Washington Region. Is there any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Saying there's no objection, the motion passes unanimously. Now, I want to triple check. Do we have any appointments that I may have skipped in my packet? Thank you. I'll take a point of personal privilege to recognize how it's as important to rely on paper, and you keep using paper so you don't skip things. So I apologize for that. And Jackie, thank you for putting me back on track. So there's no further actions on the agenda. I want to recognize the deep work and deliberation this board has made to appoint board of directors and LPC board members. Thank you for taking this responsibility seriously. And seeing there is no further discussion or items on the agenda, without objection, the board will be adjourning at 1:18 p.m. Seeing there is no objection, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much and have a good day.